All right, so welcome to the new 2015 version of the building series. We are going to be building the structure. Stay tuned and see more of what we're going to do, but over the next several weeks, I will take you from the flat kit to at least a completed shell. So stay tuned and see how much fun and how easy this is. Okay, if you follow me on Facebook or follow my blog, you've already had a hint as to what we're doing. I posted on there the other day. I've gotten quite a few questions lately about building, and I decided to do an additional building series. Now, if you've watched my other building series where I built the toy store, yeah, there's going to be some repeats because some things I do pretty consistently every building I make. Other things, I'm going to try and mix it up a little bit, show you some different techniques, show you some different things. So this is a kit that's been sitting in my house for 5 years. It's no longer available from the manufacturer, which I consulted with everyone on Facebook and about that, whether I should go ahead with this since the kit's no longer available, and everybody said go for it. They wanted to see it built. Even if they can't get this kit, they can use the techniques on something else. And that's the important thing I want you to take away from this. What I do with this kit, you can do with any tab and slot building, and a lot of this stuff will carry over to other types of buildings. So, when I open this up, it's been sitting here for 5 years. One sheet of window plastic is dead. So, that died. Actually, I can probably use part of it. So I've got my notebook, I pulled out my instructions, I punched holes in the instructions, got my envelope in here. I'm going to stick this window sheet. There's more sheets of plastic for windows in the package. This is our building. This was the 2010 Spring Fling Contest building for Greenleaf Dollhouses. I love the buildings that Greenleaf had for these Spring Fling contests. I bought several, at least 4 of them that I can think of off the top of my head, and I've built most of them. They were a lot of fun. They were cute buildings. I think they were very innovative on them. They were different, and they were just lots of fun to build. That's where the toy store was too. The toy store was actually the one for the following year. So we have not only the main structure, which is a single room garage with a double door here, a single walk-through door, a window, and a false front. I also purchased the add-on room, which has a little front deck, another door, a window, and 2 windows. So it's a small little building. It'll be a lot of fun to put together. Over the next several weeks, we're going to put this together. Now, if you go back and read my blog that I posted midweek last week, I'll try to put the link in the blog for this video. I told everybody what my 3 thoughts have been for the last 5 years as to what I want to do, and I'm still not sold on any of those 3 ideas. So feel free to comment with ideas of where you think, what direction you think I should take, and check the blog to see where I was headed kind of before. So our first thing I did was I sat down and I read the directions. Now it's time to go through with the schematics and find out if we have everything. Normally I would say do this immediately when you get the project in the mail or pick it up from the store, so that if you're missing something, you can let the manufacturer know. With this one, I think I'm out of luck if I'm out of stuff, but I'll just fake it. So let's see what we've got. According to my directions, whoops, sorry, didn't mean to hit the camera. According to the schematic, no, I'm just hitting the camera all over the place. Okay, we have, this is obviously the main deck. Whoops, you can see that. yeah, you're not going to be able to see everything. So this is the main deck. This should be attached to this one. Try and reassemble my pieces here so that I can check them off on my book if I have everything. I should have 2 more little pieces there. Oh, there's one. Now I like to be able to keep these together if I can. Okay, that one is still missing a small piece, but that's this one. I'm going to move this off to the side. The door is missing, let's see. Yeah, it looks like the door piece, this is the front door for the add-on room, and that's all there. This is the window, and there's the piece for this one. Now that piece is there. This appears to be, okay, so that's that one. And what we're doing, we're just going through and checking off on here that we have everything. This is this piece, so I've got that one. This is the first floor. We're not labeling yet because the next step is to prime it. This is the foundation back. Little dust boogers on it. This is, that's this piece. That's the front and the back of the front door. This is the roof. Okay, so that's all the pieces for the add-on and room, and then we have shingle sheets here. So that's all of those pieces. So now, oops, I need to shift things around, hopefully without hitting the camera again. Sorry about that. And I'm going to cut the plastic here. As you can see, this has been sealed for all this time, so hopefully everything is still in the packaging and still there. The wood is probably a little drier than it would have been had it been made immediately, but we can deal with that. It's not a big deal. And I have never had Greenleaf short me on pieces, so I've had really good luck from them. Alright, so now I need to change to this page. And I love that they always have the schematics so I can tell what I'm doing. Looks like I'm upside down. See if I can turn this over without losing anything on the floor that's important. Here are some more papers. Here are my window sheets, so those are safely going to go in my notebook where I know where they are. This piece here appears to be okay, this is the right side wall. There should be some trim pieces, which are probably these. Okay, so these are the trim pieces that were attached to that. And I should have that piece. We might have to find that piece. I'll put that to the side. And mark this and circle that. Alright, so this piece on the schematic thing, it looks like everything is here on this one. And keep as much, it's not going to stay together. It's really nice if you can keep these sheets together for the next step, but it's not going to happen, so on some of them. And then we have this sheet. This is the sheet, and okay, it looks like everything for this sheet is here. And then we have one more sheet down here on the bottom. And yeah, this is taking up a lot of real estate with the camera. Hopefully you're seeing enough of what I'm doing to follow along. Sorry, I hit the camera again. Sorry about that. And this is the final sheet, and everything's here too. So that's all of our pieces. I am going to cover my table with freezer wrap. Then I'm going to lay out all of these sheets of plywood, and I'm going to prime them. I will show you on camera how to do one sheet, but I'll do the rest of the priming off camera. And then we'll go through and label, and that'll probably be about all we get done this week. So let me go get these laid out and primed. Alright, so we are now priming. I'm about halfway through priming. I thought I'd show you how to do one sheet of this. I'm using this. This is my favorite priming product. It's great. We don't have to do a neat coat on it, and this will seal the wood. I will talk more in the blog post that goes with this video about why we are using this and what it is. I've put some, I got this really cool, basically disposable roller today for just a couple of dollars, and I think I've seen them at the dollar store. But what we are doing, we're just coating both sides of all of our stuff. Now I'm not going to do any staining. I'm not going to make any of this look like wood. I'm going to paint or otherwise cover all the surfaces, because I just find it's not worth trying to stain this kind of wood. Usually it's not good enough wood, and it just doesn't turn out, and it's always kind of, it's not really worth the hassle of doing that. If you want to stain, then leave those pieces blank. The most important thing here is we are covering both sides. See, I've got this sheet just about done. The roller makes this so much quicker. In the past, I've always used a brush, and this is so much faster. Now the pieces are going to try and fall out, but I'm going to try and keep as much intact as I can here. Not much is going to stay intact. Okay. Over. And make sure you get, like, I don't need to do the frame, but I know that there's pieces here I need. And you can see where the lines are, so you can tell kind of where you need to be. I've covered my table with freezer paper. It's got the shiny side up, so that will minimize my stuff sticking, my pieces sticking. And we're just going to go through. And I'm wearing disposable gloves too. This way, this stuff is so just, it gets all over everything, so I prefer to use gloves when I do things like this. So I got those. The backs of these doors. What we need to do, it's really important that you do both sides. This prevents warping later, and prevents, if we only primed one side and let it dry and turn it over, we could have warping on this thin wood. Especially the pieces that are supposed to be the porches that have been scored to look like individual boards. And I'm trying to keep them as intact in their original sheets as I can, so that I can identify them for my next step. Because that will be our last step we do on this video. We'll be identifying and labeling everything. So I'm going to continue to prime all of these, the rest of these pieces, and when this is dry, I'll come back and we'll start labeling what the pieces are. Alright, so this has now dried overnight. I actually turned it over last night, and now I've just turned it back right side up so I can find pieces. So now it's time to label. First rule, always use a pencil. If you use any kind of ink on this, you risk the chance that the ink will bleed through later, even if you paint or seal it. I've seen ink bleed through even through paper attached. So now I check my schematic. And I can see this is the main roof. So I'm going to write right on it. Whoops. I had my pencil out too far. That's the main roof. Even if it looks really obvious, I'm still going to do that. There's little pieces here, they're called roof extensions. I'm just going to put an RE on them. I'm going to go through, I have, what do I have? I have a left front door. Sometimes I do this on the back, and I will probably, as I take these apart, flip them over and write the names on the back sides, but for right now, I'm just going to write them on the front. Anyway, I'm going to go through. I've got a lot of pieces here. I'm not going to bore you by doing this on camera, but I'm going to go through and I'm going to label all the pieces according to what this says and put them all into a container so that I can find them. And then next week, we will start gluing this together. So I hope you found this informative. If you have questions, be sure to post them and be sure to check the blog for more information and anything else. I'll talk to you later. Bye.